بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I'm your brother in Islam, Taalib Abdullaah, and I'm very happy to be here, barakallahu feekum, with you. And my particular reason is that this masjid bin Baz, was part of my recovery when I was in the hospital, barakallahu feekum. This is the very first place that I came after being released from the hospital, barakallahu feekum, and they were, mashallah, very welcoming to me. And there are other places of other people here who, barakallahu feekum, they were there when I first came out of the hospital. So I want to give a special thanks to the administration of this masjid and to all the people who helped me when I first came out of the hospital. Barakallahu feekum, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase you in your reward. My talk is about ذكر تمني المعصية وحرص عليها. Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahab placed a chapter in his book entitled Remembering and Mentioning Wanting to Commit Sin and Being Determined to Do It. Wanting to do it with determination. He said that is al-kabira, al-dhunub. And this is not, as you'll see, we're not talking about somebody doing a sin. It's about the person who's determined and did everything he could to do it, and the only thing that prevented him from doing it was he failed to due to circumstances. He was capable, but he could not do it because of circumstances that didn't allow him. And the proof that the Shaykh used, the first one, reported in Abu Bakr, radiallahu anhu, he said, سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إذا التقى مسلمان بسيفيهما فالقاتل والمقتول في النار. قلت يا رسول الله هذا قاتل فما بال المقتول؟ قال إنه كان حريصا على قتل صاحبه. متفق عليه. If two Muslims meet each other with their swords, both the killer and the killed one are in the hellfire. I said, "Oh Allah's Messenger, it is all right for the killer. I understand the killer going to the hellfire, but what about the one who was killed?" He said, the one killed was eager to kill his opponent. The other evidence that he used, rahmatullah alayh, عن أبي كبشة الأنماري رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم مثل هذه الأمة كمثل الأربع نفر رجل أتاه الله مالا وعلما فهو يعمل بعلمه في ماله ينفقه في حقه ورجل أتاه الله علما ولم يؤتيه مالا هو يقول لو كان لي مثل هذا عملت فيه مثل الذي يعمل. قال الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم فهما في الأجر سواء. ورجل أتاه الله مالا ولم يؤتيه علما فهو يخبط في ماله ينفقه بغير حقه. ورجل لم يؤتيه الله علما ولا مالا فهو يقول لو كان لي مثل مال هذا عملت فيه مثل الذي يعمل. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم هما في الوزر سواء. Narrated by Abu Kabsha. And Mali, he said, the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم said, the likeness of this ummah is that of four people. One, a man who Allah gives wealth and knowledge, so he acts according to his knowledge with regard to his wealth, spending it as it should be spent. Two, a man to whom Allah gives knowledge, but he does not give him wealth. So he says, if I had been given wealth like this one, I would have done what the first man did. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, they will be equal in reward. 3. And a man to whom Allah gives wealth but does not give knowledge, so he squanders his wealth and spends it in inappropriate ways. 4. And a man to whom Allah gives neither knowledge nor wealth, and he says, if I had wealth like this one, I would do what the third man did. The Messenger of Allah said, they are equal in their burden of sin. Sharh the hadith, the first one, has benefits. قوله إذا التقى مسلمان بسيفيهما. If the two Muslims meet with their swords, meaning يريد كل واحد منهما أن يقتل الآخر فسن عليه السيف. This one wants to kill this one, and this one wants to kill that one, and they have drawn their swords. وكذلك لو أشهر عليه سلاح كالبندقية أو غيرهما مما يقتل فالحجر ونحوه. And that at the time was a famous weapon. So this is talking about swords or rifles or pistols or anything that can kill another one. So if two Muslims want to meet each other with their ninas, are we still using that term? 9mm? Thank you. I've been around, I've been traveling. That might be a Midwestern term, I don't know. So two Muslims are beating each other with their Glocks. How's that? Thank you. Or meet each other with any other weapon that could kill. If it was rocks, and the rocks were rocks that could kill, it means all of those things. وَذَكَرَ السَّيْفْ هُنَا عَلَى سَبِيلِ الْمِثَالِ. And mentioning the sword here is as an example. وَلَيْسَ عَلَى سَبِيلِ الْيَقِينِ. Doesn't just mean swords. بَلْ إِذَا الْتَقَى الْمُسْلِمَانِ بِأَيِّ وَسِيلَةٍ. If two Muslims meet in any way, يَكُونُ بِهَا قَتْلٌ, and killing could come from it, فَقَتْلُ أَحَدُهُمْ الْآخَرِ, and one kills the other because of it, فَالْقَاتِلُ, the killer, وَالْمَقْتُولُ, the one killed, would be in the hellfire. وَالْعَيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. If you have hadith دليل واضح, in this hadith is clear evidence على أن المسلم إذا ارتكب المعصية لا يكفر بذلك. So here is a point of methodology, that if two Muslims commit a major sin, it doesn't put them out of Islam. لأنه أطلق عليهم بوصف الإسلام, because the Prophet ﷺ said two Muslims. Because he said two Muslims, and we understand that this sin itself doesn't put you out of Islam. But either وَإِن تَوَعَدَهُمَا بِالنَّارِ, even if they both have been threatened with the hellfire. وَلَكِنْ لَا يَلْزِمْ مِنْ ذَلِكَ اسْتِمْرَارٌ بِبَقَائِهِمَا فِيهَا. It doesn't mean they'll stay in the hellfire. وهذا أكبر دليل للرد على الخوارج ومن قال بقولهم في المعتزلة بأن أهل المعاصي مخلودون في النار. And this is another evidence against the Khawarij and those people of the Mu'tazila who also say what they say, that if a person commits a major sin, he would stay in the fire. قوله فالقاتل والمقتول في النار. The killer and the one killed is in the fire. والعياذ بالله. قال العلماء معنى كونهما في النار أنهما يستحقان ذلك. This means they both deserve to go to hell for doing that. They deserve to go to hell for meeting each other with weapons and one attempting to kill the other. These two men or two women deserve to go to hell for that. ولكن أمرهما إلى الله. Their affairs with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إن شاء عاقبهما ثم أخرجهما من النار. If he wills, he will punish them in the hellfire and then bring them from it. كسائر الموحدين, like everybody who truly believes in at-tawheed, like everyone who's a true monotheist, or someone who truly believes in tawheed, someone who truly studied at-tawheed and believes it and has established it in his life. That person has that chance. outside of that. وَإِنْ شَاءَ عَافَ عَنْهُمَا. And if Allah wants to, He can forgive the two of them. فَلَمْ يُعَاقِبَهُمَا أَصْلًا. And never punish them. وَقِيلَ هُوَ مَحْمُولٌ عَلَى مَنْ أَسْتَحِلَّ ذَلِكَ. And some say this is carried upon those who make that kind of thing halal, the killing of other Muslims by a Muslim. قال حافظ النووي رحمه الله تعالى. Imam al-Nawawi said في شرح صحيح المسلم أما قول القاتل مقتول من أهل النار. He said, as for the killer and the one being killed being in the fire, فمحمول على من لا تأويل له يكون قاتلهما عصبية. This means that the subject of their battle, why they fought, was bigotry. The reason they fought was bigotry, or things like it. And then he says the same thing. Them going to the fire means they deserve it. So two people, it's not fi sabilillah that they're fighting. They're fighting over some ignorance from the dunya. These two are fighting over the ignorant thing from the dunya. فَقَدْ تَجَاوَزَ ذَلِكَ. Allah can forgive them, or He can punish them or forgive them. وجاء في فتح الباري عن إمام القرطبي رحمه الله تعالى. And in Fath al-Bari, Imam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani quotes Imam al-Qurtubi. He says, وَبَيَّنْ هَذا الْحَدِيث أَنَّ الْقِتَالِ, that fighting, إِذَا كَانَ عَلَى الجهل, if it's over something ignorant, مِنْ طَلَبَ الدُّنْيا, to gain something from the dunya, or إِجْبَاء هَوَى, or a person is following his own desire, فَهُوَ الَّذِي أُرِيدُ بِقَوْلِهِ قَاتِلٌ مَقْتُولٌ فِي النَّارِ. It's talking about two people who are following their desires to the point where they would draw a weapon on their brother, or he would draw his weapon on that brother and attempt to kill one another, and one kill the other. It has nothing to do with the Sharia. It has nothing to do with following the Quran. Nothing to do with the Sunnah. Any ignorant thing you can think of. Like going in the street and standing with the Black Lives Matter movement and have a Muslim from that side and get mad at one from this side because a policeman also killed another person who wasn't even Muslim, and they get mad and they wind up killing each other. Ignorance. Total ignorance. Or the car, or somebody getting cut off in the traffic, and then a person's road rage, he has a kind of a rage but he can't control himself. And if you can't control yourself in the traffic, you shouldn't be in traffic. If you can't control yourself, if you get angry to the point with wives and children in the car, or you're in the car by yourself, and you begin to threaten the life of another person who's in another car, you shouldn't be in the car. It's dangerous for you. You're a danger to yourself and others. And these kind of things. فبين ذلك يوضحه ما ذكره حافظ ابن حجر رحمه الله تعالى. موت الذي جاء في ذكر قول القرطبي حيث وقد أخرج البزار حديث القاتل المقتول في النار زيادة تبين مراد من هنا. So Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani said that Ibn Qurtubi added some words to the hadith. There's some extra words that show what's meant here. إذا تتلتم على الدنيا, if you kill each other for the sake of the dunya. فالقاتل والمقتول في النار. So if you're killing each other for the sake of this dunya, then the killer and the one being killed is in the fire. ويؤيد ما أخذ المسلم بلفظ. And there are other words of the Messenger of Allah that aid in this meaning. لا تذهب الدنيا حتى يأتي على الناس يوم لا يدري قاتل في من قتل ولا مقتول فيما قتل. فقيل كيف يكون ذلك؟ قال الحج القاتل ومقتول في النار. The world would not come to an end until a day would come to the people on which the murderer would not know as to why he has killed, and the slain would not know as to why he has been murdered. It would be said, why would that happen? To which he replied, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it would be because of general massacre and bloodshed, and the slaughterers and the slain would be in the fire. So I don't know how it is in this area, but in some other places Muslim groups youth have gotten together and formed gangs. And they're enemies of certain gangs are not because of religion. They're enemies because of something in the dunya, territory which they don't own. About territory which they don't have any control over. Though it was come to a point where there's massacre and there's bloodshed. And this one doesn't know why he killed that one, and that one doesn't know why he was killed. ومما يؤيد ما تقدم أخذ مسلم عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه. And there's another hadith was also asked to this meaning, also reported in Muslim, ومن قاتل تحت الراية عمية يغضب لعصبية أو يدعو إلى عصبية أو ينصر عصبية فقتل فقتلة جاهلية. The Prophet ﷺ said, one who fights under a banner of a people who are blind, meaning to the cause in which they are fighting, meaning they do not know whether their cause is just or otherwise, who gets flared up with family pride, calls people to fight for their family honor, and supports his kith and kin, meaning fights not for the cause of Allah, but for the cause of family or tribe. If he is killed in this fight, he dies as one belonging to the days of Jahiliyyah. And we're still talking about what? The causes for the fighting. And why do people fight? First, we established that people urge other people to do battle. They call them for the block. They call them for the color. There's much, and this is coming back today, much more. It's heightened right now. It's being heightened. The war is being heightened. Everybody stay out of that. Ad-Din is Islam. يعني طريقنا المستلزم عليه. What we hold on to is the Deen of Islam. And nothing else. قالوا إنه كان حريصا على قتل صاحبه. This meaning, he wanted to kill his opponent. هو حريص عليه. أنه حصل منه إقدام. That he came forward. ولكنه غلب. But he was overcome. وإلا فإنه قصد القتال. If he wasn't overcome by the other man, his intention was what? Kill. ورفع سيفه ومد يده. And he raised his hand with his weapon and he pointed it. إذن كل منهما حصلت منه مشاركة بالفعل. So both of these were what? They were together in the action. ليس مجرد نية. This was not just niyyah. It's not just niyyah. At times people read hadith like this, they read the face of it and say, well, his niyyah, he didn't do it. So why is he being charged? He didn't do it. Why is he in trouble? He didn't get the chance to do it. Because he wanted to do it. Because he took actions. Because he prepared. فهو رفع سيفه. He raised his safe, his sword. لكن صاحبه سبقه. But his opponent beat him. وتفوقت عليه. بادره بقتله. He beat him. He was better than he was, and so he defeated him and killed him. أو تمكنه من قتله. He was able to kill him. فيكونان مشتركان في أراد القتل. So they are both together in the desire to kill. أحدهما تمكن من صاحبه. One was able to overtake his opponent. والثاني لم يتمكن مع حرصه على قتل صاحبه. And the other one wasn't able to do so. استدل بهذا الحديث. This hadith is evidence about something that sometimes confuses us, and that's niyyah. استدل بهذا الحديث على أن من ترك محرما عاجزا عنه. Whoever leaves something haram only because he couldn't do it, not because of fear of Allah. That somebody planning to do something haram and his planning goes forward and he can't do it because he's too weak to do it or unable to do it, circumstances go against him. مع فعل الأسباب, along with him taking the means that will take him to that thing, and he's not able to do it, فإنه يكتب عليه وزر فاعله. He gets the sin of one who has done it. One who is not able to do something haram that he planned and took steps toward it, and is not able to do it only because circumstances went against him. It's written against him like someone who did it. قال الشيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية. Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, and this is the bab. The bab is the one who is trying to do a sin, وَحِرْص عَلَيْهِ. He has hirs. He has an assertive attitude. He's asserting himself in it. قال الشيخ ابن تيمية رحمه الله تعالى في مجموع الفتاوى. Al-Haris, the one who's Haris, who has an assertive attitude. His, for lack of a better word, his psychology is that he's going to assert himself in a way that's going to affect other people and things. This one who asserts himself in evil. Al-Haris al-Sayyat, the one who asserts himself in evil. Al-Jazm bi-aradatihi, and his intention, he is himself, and his intention is jazimun. He is determined to do so. In what he wants to do, إِذَا لَمْ يَمْنَعْهُ إِلَّا مَجَرَّدْ عَجْزٍ, if the only thing that stops that person is his inability, فَهَذَا يُعَقِّبْ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ, he's going to get punished on that. عُقُوبَةُ الْفِعْلِ, the kind of punishment that the active participant who was successful gets. He wasn't successful. The only thing left for him in success is what? He couldn't get it. The hadith Abi Kabsha, but the hadith Abu Kabsha, وَلَمَّا فِي hadith sahih. And then he repeats, he said, and what's in this hadith? He repeats it. إِذَا اتَّقَى مُسْلِمَانِ, if two Muslims meet each other, they say, فَيْهِمَا, with their swords, فَقَاتِلُوا وَمَقْتُولُوا بِالنَّارِ, the killer and the one who was killed are in the fire. And then the question was asked, the Messenger of Allah said, because he wanted to kill his opponent. وفي اللفظ إنه أراد قتل صاحبه. In the words it says he wanted to kill his opponent. فهذه إرادة, this desire, this is the hirs, this is the determination. It means a person's determination. وهي إرادة جازمة. This is the one which is proactive. This is the one that intends to assert himself in such a way that he affects the outcome of something. وَقَدْ وَجَدَ مَعْهُ مَقْدُورٌ, and he's capable. And he can do it. The potential is there. It's there. فَهِيَ قِتَالٌ. In this case, it was what? It was the fight. It was the fight. لكن عَجِزَ عَنْ قَبْلُ, but this one could not do it. وَلَيْسَ هَذَا مِنْ الْهَمَّ الَّذِي لَا يُقْتَبْ. This is not from a concern when the Messenger of Allah said, if someone desires to do a sin, and then does what? He pulls back. And he gets what? He gets a reward. He said, it's not like that. This is not the same. And people get too confused because they couldn't do it. They're not going to get punished. It depends on, no, you couldn't do it, or that person couldn't do it because the circumstance went against him. Nah, he didn't want to. And you get people like this who want to harm someone, who want to harm someone else. What happens to them? They harm themselves. Some people, sometimes they're afflicted by jealousy of that person. They're afflicted by jealousy. And jealousy afflicts people. What is jealousy? The evil type, not riptah. What is evil jealousy? What is it? Go ahead, young man.
I think evil jealousy is when someone is jealous of someone else and tries to earn what they're jealous of back. Or take it back.
Oh, take it, brother. I'm on the right, brother. He's very close. Just like what I say.
Not want that person to have that thing.
Now.
You want it and you want that person not to have it.
Now, the person, either you want it or you don't want it. You just don't want that person to have it. And so also, who is the person displeased with? Allah. Displeased with Allah. And by being jealous of that person, he harms that person, he oppresses that person. What happens to that person? Because he oppresses him like that. He lifts that person's reward with Allah. He lifts that person with Allah because why? His jealousy is oppressive to that person. So the thing he hates the most, he winds up being one of the reasons a person gets lifted because he's jealous of him. So it lifts him. But if he can't attack him, Ibn Qudam al-Maqdisi said, rahimahullah, if he can't get at him, he said every time he's mentioned, it makes him sick. Every time that person is mentioned, it sickens him inside. So now he's an oppressor and oppressor all in one. harms him. Oh, you got that? MashaAllah. You get the MashaAllah that's so twisted. I'm not going to mention him no more. You all right? MashaAllah. I mean, no. Yeah. There's some things we shouldn't urbanize. The Dhikr Allah is the thing we shouldn't urbanize that, brothers. But, people and it sickens them. And Alhamdulillah, our brother gave, mashallah, a very beneficial talk before me, Brother Umar, Habibullah Ta'ala, wa yaziduhu khair. About having gratitude. If you have gratitude for what you have, and if you make dua for the one you're jealous of, ask Allah to increase him. Angels will say, and you. So, this is not the kind of concern of a person who he pulls back. وَمَا يُقَالِ إِنَّهُ يَسْتَحِقُّ ذَلِكَ مُجَرَّدْ قَوْلِهِ, and that he deserves punishment just because he said something. No. لو أن لي ما لفلان عملت مثل ما عمل وأن تمني الكبائر ليس عقوبته كالعقوبة الفاعلة بمجرد التكلم. And so the Shaykh goes back to the other hadith about the man who said, if I had what he had, the foolish one, I'd be foolish with my money also. He said, this reward is different. He said, you don't get punished for being a doer just because you spoke. It's not just speaking. He said, بل, he said, لا بد من أمر آخر. He said, there has to be another affair involved. وهو لم يذكر إنه يعاقب على كلامه. And the Messenger of Allah didn't say that this man, the killer, would be killed because he spoke. It's not about speaking here. إنما ذكر إنهما في وزر السواء. He said, they're the same in sin. وعلى هذا فقوله إن الله تجاوز أمتي عما حدث به أن نفسها ما لم تكلم به أو تعمل. And then he brings the hadith to show that if you don't speak about something, just because you want something, you won't be punished for that. Allah has excused my community for what comes to their mind, as long as they do not act or pronounce. He said, لن ينافي العقوبة على الإرادة الجازمة التي لا بد أن يقرن بها فعل. He said, this jazima, in the arada jazima, this kind of desire, which is talking about the punishments for this man, this kind of desire, here it is taqarran biha maqdur. This is the one that's combined with ability to do the thing the person wants to do. It's combined with the ability to carry out, or some people say to pull it off. People have the ability to do it. وَإِذَا فَمَتَى لَمْ تَقَرَّن بِالْمَقْدُورِ. If the person doesn't have the ability to do this thing, لَمْ تَكُنْ جَازِمًا. He is not the kind of person that has this kind of desire. He noticed in the very beginning he couldn't do it. This person had the ability. But marid zina, and then he goes to other sins. Now let's go past killing. Murid zina. Everybody, can you translate that word? Translate it? Aywa. How many can translate the word zina? How many can translate it? Fornication. Yell it out. How many? How many is the question? That's a number question. But now, and look familiar with the word. Barakallahu fikum. He said, for marid zina, the one who wants to commit fornication or adultery, because it depends on how you're describing it, was sariqa, or a thief, or sharbu khamr, somebody who wants to get high, وعازم على ذلك, and they really want to do it. متى كانت إرادته جازمة عازمة, when their desire to do these things is determined and assertive, فلا بد أن تقرن بها and يقترن بها من فعل. It has to be coupled with an action. Remember, the end result, they couldn't do it, but there's a series of actions. For instance, he said that allows him to do it. He said, فَلَوْ أَنَّهُ يُقَرِّبُهُ إِلَى جِهَةٍ الْمَعْصِيَةِ. When he's getting near to the sin, for instance, تَقَرَّبَ السَّارِقَ إِلَى مَكَانٍ الْمَالِ الْمَسْرُوقِ. The thief draws near to the target he wants to steal. He's moving toward it. Remember, he's not going to be able to do it, but he's actually taking steps toward it. He scoured the place out. He knows the timing. He watched it, and now he thinks he's going to hit it. وَمِثْلَ النَّظَرِ الزَّانِ. For instance, or a person who's a fornicator or adulterer, نَظَرَ الزَّانِ, his eyes, he's looking. He listens to the person talk who he wants to make dinner with. He speaks or she speaks with the person. The person who wants to get high. Everybody understand what I mean there? Okay. The person who wants to get high. طلبها التمسها. He seeks it. ونحو ذلك. فلا بد مع الإرادة الجازمة. Along with this desire is this determination and assertiveness. And there has to be some beginnings to it before it's done. بل مقدمات فعل توجب بدون إرادة. The Shaykh said for every one of these actions, even if the person didn't have a strong desire, at the head of it, there's going to be a series of actions. That's the difference between the person who thought about it and left it. This person did more than think. Online with the ladies. Ladies online with the men. That's a step toward evil if we're not doing it properly with the marriage in Islam. If the people are not doing what? They're not following the Islamic dictates, the Sharia on how to get married. So if they're not following the Sharia, what are they following? Hawa. And the Sharia for some people their emotions become their Sharia. Their emotions become their law. Now, there's one point to help a person with Hawa. Hawa, and a person who follows it, evil Hawa, is it harmful or not? Is it harmful or not? It's harmful. Just one point alone that helps us with some of this. Whoever has it, and it could be for food, because we have addictions. We come from a society that in order to get the most out of us, it addicts us. And it's addicting. It's addicting. The addict says he has a taste for cocaine. The diabetic says you got a taste for a donut. So here they are both tasting. Not hungry, but taste. I got a taste for that. I got a taste for this. I'm a taste. Not hunger, but taste. You shouldn't eat that. Yeah, all right, but I got a taste for it. You turn my back, I'm going to eat it. He acts just like an addict. He's hiding the donut someplace in the thing that he's not supposed to eat. He's hiding it. He's hiding the sweets up under the table. He's hiding it, just like an addict. Just like an addict. Well, and many other things. The moving pictures, the stories. And they create a fear of not having them. You understand that? Our brother, mashallah, don't have him in memory. He mentioned the verse about the qari'ah who had security. And then they did what? Kufran al-ni'mah. So the person's health is a ni'mah, and the security of their home is a ni'mah. It's all ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there has to be some muqaddamat from fi'l to do what you want to do. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم when hadith متفق عليه about these beginnings, these steps taken by someone who has a niyyah to do evil, he said, al-aynan tazniyan. He said the zina of the eye is a lustful look. He said the eye commits zina. And the zina of the eye is a lustful look. The zina of the ears is listening to a voluptuous song or talk. The adultery or fornication of the tongue is a speech, talking to someone you shouldn't talk to. The zina of the hand is a lustful grip. The zina of the feet is walking to the place where a person tends to commit fornication. And the heart yearns and desires, and the heart's fornication is yearning for something it's not supposed to have. And the private parts approve all that or disapprove it. And then, of course, again, he mentions the hadith Abu Bakr, which is, if two Muslims meet each other with their swords, the killer and the one being killed is in the fire. وفي رواية صحيحين إذا كان حديثا عن قتل صاحبه فإنه أراد ذلك إرادة جازمة. So if a person wanted to kill his opponent who was Muslim, then he has that assertive kind of niyyah. He has that assertive type of his desire, is assertive. وفعل معها مقدور, and he has the ability, capability. منع منها من قتل صاحبه. He was prevented because he was ajiz, he was weak, and he was killed. ليست بمجرد هم. This is not just a desire. This is a series of actions taken on the part of someone who wants to do something. ولا مجرد عزم عن الفعل المستقبل فاستحق حينئذ النار كما قدمنا. Sheikh Uthaymeen has some other words about the topic. استدل بهذا الحديث على أن من ترك محرما عاجزا. And his words are similar to Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. He said, whoever goes forward to do haram and he's unable, مع فعل الأسباب, that he's doing the things that brings him to it, then he gets the reward, the sin of someone who's done it. من ترك محرما عاجزا عنه, whoever leaves something haram because he's not able to do it, he said either he's doing the reasons or he's not. If he's doing the reasons, then he is someone. What happens to him? It gets written for him or upon him. This is not the same, and I'm going to close here. This is what we're talking about. This type of hadith is not the same as someone. وهذا نعرف الفرق بين هذا الحديث وبين قول صلى الله عليه وسلم من قتل دون دمه فهو شهيد ومن قتل دون أهله فهو شهيد ومن قتل دون ماله فهو شهيد من قتل دون أهله فهو شهيد. The one who was killed by protecting his property is a martyr, and he who was killed by defending his family is a martyr, and he is by protecting himself is a martyr, or his religion. That person's a martyr. You've heard this hadith? No. ذلك لأن الإنسان, there's a difference between those two. They're not the same. لأن الإنسان الذي يدافع عن ماله وأهله, the one who protects his property and his family and himself, عرضه إنما دافع رجلا معتمدا صائدا لا يدافع إلا بقتله. He is protecting himself from an enemy. هناك إذا قتل الصائد كان في النار. If a person is killed because of enmity, he's in the fire. This person is not doing that. He's doing what? He's defending himself from an attack on things he's supposed to defend. He's supposed to defend his family. And this is mostly where? At his home. Mostly. But it could be in the street. But his niyyah was not what? Not to kill. It was to do what? It was to defend himself. And he was killed in the defense. وهذا الحديث فيه دليل على أن الصحابة كانوا يردون على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم شبهة ويجيب عنها. And this hadith is also proof that whenever the companions had an issue that they needed explanation for, they always came to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he always answered them. And Shaykh Uthaymeen said, in fact, the Quran and hadith have no shubhat in them. They don't contain it. They're clear. But whenever there was a shubhat from the companions, they always came to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He always answered them, and he clarified for them what their issues were in understanding about it. That also shows that being an Arab by itself is not the key, but following the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the key. هذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Are there any questions? Good.